Some of you may not have realized um, that I'm not part.
Some of you might not have acknowledged that I'm not piece of the club. The entire mantra can't stop, won't stop. It's like you became tenacious. You got to have a cycle of insane. You can't take no for a response. You got to get it going. He epitomizes that Kim is dead, Wadey D is dead, and Ray Carol is dead. The main two remaining are Puffy, and all in all, nearly pass on seems to be Ice 3D Square. We'll make a section into the Diddy discussion, and the details ain't looking pretty for him currently. It's not unexpected information that Jay-Z and Diddy have had this extraordinary, minimal, selfless way of behaving, yet Ice claims there is something else to their relationship besides straightforward brotherhood. Individuals have been bringing up that Jay has been dubiously missing from the scene since Diddy has wound up in the say-rec. We should bounce directly into the story since we have a ton to unload. Okay, so we as a whole recall that last year, I stood out as truly newsworthy after he posted a video of himself, where he readdressed the Illuminati hypothesis exhaustively. This thought of a mysterious society that rules over the world has been there for a really long time, yet it was Ice 3D Square who conceded its presence before the camera. Well, basically the clasp was an admonition to the individuals from the general public to not annoy him if they would rather not have their business in the media. What club am I referring to? I'm discussing the club of guardians that we as a whole got to manage. The rumors from far and wide suggest that Ice indicated about Jay-Z and Beyonce's contribution in the club. Two fans accept that Jay-Z quickly was quiet about Diddy's legitimate difficulties, as vexatious as Jay has been a major ally of Diddy. And you could recollect yet at one occurrence Diddy himself conceded that he and Jay-Z upheld a security so solid that he is permitted to address him as Sean beside his mom. The thing is, since the claims have fired, springing up an ever-increasing number of episodes from the past have become known. Whether you have been following the hip jump news for long, you could recall that there was an occurrence where Diddy, Jlo, and Sparkle were associated with a bar assault. Fans have uncovered an entire Pandora box of things about the occurrence by recovering the casualties side of the story. The occurrence that occurred in 1999 was the straw that broke the camel's back, after which Jlo chose not to connect with Diddy. Ever a lady is blaming Shay P. Diddy for being the genuine culprit behind the 1999 New York club Pow Pow for speedy setting. The episode being referred to traces all the way back to December 27, 1999, when a festival at Club New York in Manhattan turned brutal during quarrel. Guns were shot, leaving 3 individuals harmed, including Nathan Rubin, while Sparkle D's protege at the time was sentenced for the episode after an observer guarantees seeing him in Diddy's shoot hit. And strangely, Diddy had the option to leave uninhibitedly without repercussions anyway. Rubin's new explanations via virtual entertainment eagerly blamed Diddy for hitting her with a gun. She claimed that he controlled the story and proved to get away from responsibility. Her allegations reach out to being annoyed by Diddy for a very long time, an experience she asserts originates before the relationship with Cassie. Rubin made sense of that. She has raised her voice against P. Diddy as he has been driving the account for quite a long time, yet presently she has Lil Bar's claim as a proof to back her up. Yet he offered something unmistakable for of compromising him. Puffy said, "That is the reason I shot up the club in New York back in 1999, and let Sparkle accept all negative consequences for it now." Indeed, individuals have been scratching their heads in light of the fact that Rubin has asserted that she needed to go through a medical procedure for the Put episode. And when Diddy and the crew were under trail, she and her PCP toyed for story, yet Diddy was as yet ready to smooth his direction through with practically no charges. It's very dubious that Diddy wasn't even accused of the punishment for conveying a gun in a public spot. It caused individuals to conjecture that Jay-Z could have been supporting Diddy from the shadows at the time. It was on the grounds that the moment Diddy is in a difficult situation, there is no indication of him. Fans from that period earnestly accept that Diddy was for sure the person who pulled the trigger on that guiltless lady. It's insane in light of the fact that I purchased that Sparkle CD in secondary school back in 1999 and 2000, and that Keep Going tune on the collection commission was profound. He, in a real sense, says how he took that charge of Puff he paid try to please to prison for him. That is the point at which him and Joel separated on the grounds that she was there. She's seen what occurred and kept calm. He certainly hit that lady after Ring came clean with her imprint. Curry sat with the craft of exchange to uncode. Ver that Diddy could have been the culprit, and imprint portrayed that the result of the ENT might have been Sparkle returning after his sentence and having a sound vocation with Diddy, yet he was extradited. Rather, imprint asserted that Diddy had set up for try to please remove from the country. Since he didn't believe that reality should become known if he could have returned home and come clean, it would have implicated Puff significant prior to marking with terrible kids. Sparkle asserted that he shot weed his music to Jay-Z to get a record bargain, yet in the end Rockefeller Big Enchilada was not dazzled at first, yet later on attempted to bait him under his umbrella. I let him know I'm the best thing you're truly going to hear. You can shoot me in my foot. I was so sure, so I ran back on him when he inhabited 550 State Road. He resembled, it's okay, so I resembled I'll see you at the top. Then he attempted to sign me multiple times after that. This goodie might be commonplace to some, yet recall that Sparkle's vocation began when he was in prison. Significance after everything went down, so fans allege that Sparkle could have felt uncomfortable with Diddy, that he moved toward Jay-Z under the misrepresentation of getting marked individuals, except that, since Jay-Z and Diddy were in a comparable situation, Sparkle would have needed to forfeit his profession somehow aside from imprint. Puma Wright was likewise dubious of the occasions that occurred. UC Jag has been talking about Diddy's shrewd functions for a really long time. During an appearance on Genuine Creations, Jag brought up that, in the event that anybody who dealt with making a name with Diddy is either under 6F'd or crippled, it makes you can't help thinking about how Diddy, who managed the music business for quite a long time, had the option to slide solid, yet his accomplices were completely engaged with shocking mishaps. Kim is dead, Wadey D is dead, Andre Harrell is dead. The main two remaining are Puffy and All in All nearly die. Panther's guarantee that Diddy could have had something to do with the passings of his colleagues, regardless of whether nothing has been demonstrated. She claimed that since Diddy was knee in group matters, he could have given his better half, Kim Watchman, a few substances that unavoidably hauled her to the grave. Panther upheld her hypothesis by guaranteeing that the late Uptown Record individuals were all composing telebooks that might have been a compelling capital punishment to Diddy's then, at that point, rising profession. Andre was composing a book just before he kicked the bucket. Wadey D was dealing with a book before he passed on. Kim Watchman was dealing with a book before she passed on. She even claimed that Diddy's snapshot of retribution could accompany the KED preliminary, as the preliminary could land Diddy in the slammer, albeit this expectation didn't materialize. Only a couple of months after the fact, Diddy was without a doubt annoyed by the repetitive claims recorded against him. Perhaps the retribution Jag has been sitting tight for is at long last here. Okay, so rather old news. Usher truly used to live respectively for more than a year. While Usher had moved in from one more state toward the beginning of his profession, Usher was supposedly just a minor when he needed to reside under Diddy's rooftop for north of a year. In a meeting with Howard Harsh, attendant conceded that during his experience with Diddy, he had seen his reasonable part of things that his young cerebrum cool don't handle. On top of that, Usher made sense of that. After he was explored, it was Reed's plan to transport him to Diddy's place to find out about the way of life, assuming we take Usher's word for it. His childhood after that